Now let's talk through headhunting. Now, there's very little difference between the calls that you've already been making and making a headhunt call. Lots of other recruiters will make a real big deal about this, like it's some crazily difficult skill set and it's a difficult thing to do. It isn't. If you take the concept that we've already talked about, that everybody you speak to is either an active or a passive candidate. And a passive candidate is literally everybody, because most professionals that we speak to, 99.9% of the time, will be interested in improving their situation. They're going to want to cut their commute, they're going to want a better work-life balance, they're going to want to increase their compensation, and they will move for the right opportunity, given the right time. So a headhunt call is calling a candidate that you've got some information from, either they've been referred to you by another person or you found them on a social media site or some other form of media, and you're calling them about an opportunity. Now that might not be their perfect opportunity, but you could probably find one that is, and they will be interested if you get it right. So there's no need to feel too confused about this type of call. It is almost identical to every other call you're doing, it's just you don't already have their CV or resume to talk to them about. However, in today's world, you can probably find most of those details on LinkedIn or another social media site. So you do have a detailed amount of background information if you do a little bit of research. So the structure of the call is very similar. You're still going to verify they're the correct person, but you're probably going to have to go through a switchboard first. Now, you've got to bear in mind that the purpose of switchboards, particularly at large companies, is to direct your call to the correct person. So a lot of times it's very straightforward. You ring the switchboard number at the company if you can find it, and tell the person that answers the phone who you would like to speak to. 9 times out of 10 they'll put you through. If it's a small company, they may try and screen your call and prevent your call from going through. The best and easiest course of action there is just to explain it's a personal call. Essentially, it is a personal call because you only want to talk to that person about a job opportunity. So you're not even being creative there, you're just explaining the truth. However, you might want to not say that you're calling from a recruitment company, as they will probably not put your call through. So in that scenario, the switchboard person asks who's calling and what it's regarding. You just say, my name's Adrian, it's a personal call. It's unlikely they're going to probe any much more than that, otherwise other than they may ask, will they know are they expecting a call and will they know what it's regarding? Best case scenario there is you just say yes and hope they put you through. If you can't get through a gatekeeper when you're calling a switchboard number, initially you might want to try it early in the morning, at lunchtime, in the evening, and just keep alternating the times until you get through and it's a different gatekeeper or it goes straight through. When you get through to the person, you verify that they are the correct person, and you go into the conversation as per normal. You introduce yourself again, and at this point you're going to explain that you're a specialist in their market, which is how you got their information. So you're either been referred to them or you found their information from research because you're a specialist in the market. You're going to then pitch them the opportunity exactly as you have done on a previous call, 3 to 5 bullet points explaining the job, and ask them how their current job search is going. You can assume that everybody is engaged in a current job search because we know that everyone is a passive candidate, and in one form or another they will be looking for a new opportunity. If they're not, they'll just say, well, I'm not looking for opportunities right now, but that's okay because we can still continue to talk to them about if they were, what would their ideal opportunity be, and how could we get them interested in opportunity. What are they going to need to pique their interest in looking for another job? So it's okay if they're not looking, but we may as well assume that they are. Top tip for you is to never ask someone if it's an okay time for them to talk. Again, that's a closed question. They will immediately say no. Every candidate that you speak to is going to try and find the easiest route off the phone call because they don't want to be speaking to you, not at the initial point of the call anyway. So if you start the conversation by saying, is it okay for you to talk? They will always say no. Don't do it. If they can't talk, they'll tell you, and if they can, they'll keep talking. So don't start any call with that question or put it in at any point. So after you've done the pitch and you've got the open questions going, you're then going to assure them that this conversation and any further conversations are confidential, because they'll probably have an objection at some point if they are genuinely not looking about meeting you. So you want to explain to them that this conversation and any other is confidential, and you'd be happy to meet them for a coffee to talk about opportunities or the market in any more detail. Before you can do that though, it would be ideal if they gave you an update copy of their CV or resume and give you a timeline on which they could get that to you so you could arrange that meeting. So you're still going to go for the same commitment of a time locked in for a coffee and a CV and a resume before that. Now, if they send their CV and resume over and it's terrible and it's not a match for anything and it's not right for you at all, you can always cancel the coffee. But you want to lock them in for the commitment of the coffee and sending their CV and resume in before then, so it gives a sense of urgency to the process. It's very simple to get out of a commitment for you as a recruiter, but once a candidate or a client has mentally made a commitment, they're less likely to unwind it. They'll more likely follow through with it. So once you've got the commitment for the time to meet and the CV, you're all done. It's very similar to every other call you've made. You're going to just assure them through the process that the conversation is confidential. That is really the only difference, because you're assuming that everyone is a passive candidate.
I think I found the perfect guy to fill that job at GQ. Look, he's landing early. I'm scrambling. Look, he's not sold on the job yet, but I'll get him there. I always do. Look, I'm even picking him up in a hybrid. So he's from LA. I figured he's into all that bullshit. Hey, sir, what's that tall building over there?
Empire State Building.
No. The other one. The really, really tall one with the antenna on top of it, the windows.
That is Empire State Building.
Oh, yeah. You're right. King Kong. Hey. Oh, hey, are you done with this? All met up? Great. Welcome to New York, Miss Pendergast. Oh, no. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, okay.
Can you hand me my bag?
Sure. Which one?
One with the strap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to New York, sir.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Which one, the blue or the yellow?
No, the makeshift sign made out of lipstick. That's me.
You're Dylan Harper.
I am.
I'm Jamie Rellis.
You're picking me up from the airport.
Hi. Yes, I am.
You always pick people up like this?
Yeah, I like to keep things interesting. Welcome to New York.
Thank you. You're not exactly what comes to mind when you think headhunter.
Yeah, I prefer executive recruiter. Headhunter sounds a little creepy.
You did stalk me for 6 months. Kind of creepy.
Oh, here. I'll take it.
You really gonna carry my bag? You're that girl?
No, I'm gonna change your life. I'm that girl.
My life is already pretty great.
Oh, really? Because you wouldn't be here if your life were already pretty great.
A free trip to New York. I'd be an idiot to turn